I just walked. I just walked down. I got just two houses, and there's he likes that shower, huh? You like that? Keep you cool. It's cool today though. And there's a kid playing guitar. I heard it. I was coming. It sounded like guitar. And I come up closer. I'm like, oh, is someone playing guitar in there? And yeah, and there's a kid in there playing guitar apparently. That's pretty cool. Maybe meet him sometime soon. Playing with it sound like a Digitech pedal or something. I was like, wow. It's kind of cool to see yourself. But no, I don't believe in YouTube fucking helping any musicians. I like that one new guy. The Mexican guy. He's good. Kind of looks like Danny. I like him. He's a smart motherfucker. He's like my age and he looks really young though. But he grew up in my age. He's talking about AOR guitar sounds. And I know exactly what he's talking about. We grew up with these clean sitar sounding like guitars with this clean chorus. And this Def Leppard sound or Richard Marx or something. Yeah. And now that you get to be our age and you get to be older, I guess you miss it. But that's around the time I started guitar, and I'm thinking the same thing he was. I'm like, I can't stand this music. I can't stand this guitar tone. I can't stand stereo chorusing and fucking. Now it's actually charming. But I actually always did secretly like Def Leppard's tone. And they took a lot of flack for that. It's like, what do you want us to sound like shit, buddy? But YouTube, no. It's like, I'm driving through Troy. Oh, and I think my friend Graham teaches down there, or he did. But another music school opened up downtown. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I'd be. And if I couldn't afford it, I'd weasel my way in there. This one computer guy was a real prick to me once. He's like, you know, the teacher protected costs money. I'm like, yeah, well, no shit, but that's a turnoff the way you put it. Fuck you. Ooh, there's a hat. And, nah. What do you think you'd learn with me, personally, for an hour a day, once a week? If you wanted to, if playing guitar was your destiny, and I got some kind of indicator that I would teach you anyway, even a bad student, that their parents were making them or something, I'd still teach that little fucker. There's nothing like a hands-on mentor to student. Even if you've got a shitty old guitar player that hates the world and is pissed because his band never made it or something, you will learn tons from that guy. That guy's pissed off for a reason. He's obviously onto something. You can get jokes from him and go back to your friends and be like, my guitar teacher was bitching about this last week. It's funny as hell. Listen to this story. I mean, YouTube tries, but they're doing something wrong with the titles and they insist on doing it. Titling shit. Don't play chords this way. Don't practice this way. That is a sacrilege to me. If I come in your house and your kid got a guitar out of the garbage and he's playing on 3 strings and tuned up to wherever he wants it, you don't know how to play that. It's all about what noise he's making with it. Or his interest with it. I'm going to take him over the top. I don't want to see him left behind. I see something special in him. I see me as a child, maybe. You know? And I'm going to take him over the top, if possible. I get really, I should be teaching guitar. I mean, you know, and I'm going to teach your kids to the best of my ability. My ability isn't always technically accurate. But here's the thing to me. I mean, if you're like me and you're playing with 3 fingers and your guitar teacher yells at you, okay. But if you continue to play with only 3 fingers and it's been years and you just can't seem to stop doing it, I'm going to go ahead and say, that's how you play. That's how he plays. You know, I'm not the only one. I do play with all 4 now, but when I was a kid, it took me years. My friend Ted had the best pinky I've ever seen in my life. It was just, doing fucking Kirk Hammett solos and shit. I'd just be shaking my head like, I don't know why you even hang out with me. You don't even need me. That was great about my band is we were all equally talented. In to be honest about it, I think that they're more talented than I am at certain things, at a lot of things. But I was lucky I got to be around excellent friends who shared the wealth. Like my band, they were working guys, and that's all they did was work or go to school. But they always had time, and they had tons of time for me. And they would share the wealth. Oh, look, I got this new pedal, dude. Isn't it cool? And you'd be like, yeah, I like that new sound. Sounds great, dude. You can come back next week. You want to borrow this? Because Ted knew he can give me ish. I'd never sell Ted shit. I love Ted. I'd be like, oh, really? And that's how we started out as a band. It's like John Lennon and Paul McCartney shit. It's like, what's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. I love you. We have a bond here. That's para friendship, you know? And we were best friends, like, we were best friends, number one. And number two, we were guitar guys. It's hard to live now without the Ted, without the Tim, without the Alex. It's really hard to live. I do feel like I'm the only one. It's like I lost everything. But there's reasons for that. And, you know, maybe it'll go back the way it'll go. But, yeah, you know, try to be careful of how you talk to people on YouTube. It's like, don't tell a student in that tone how to play. You ain't gonna be any. It's like, hey, teacher, leave that kid alone. That's when I walk up. That's what makes motherfuckers throw out their instrument. When they're like, this fucking thing was supposed to set me free, and here I am, with teacher in front of me, YouTube teacher, talking all that. Don't practice like this. Don't play like that. Dude, you're shunning the natural impulse of a child when they put their hands on the instrument. There'll be time for that later to correct them, and the first thing you do off the rip to a first-year student is tell him, you don't do that. You encourage him. You want to play like Jimi Hendrix? That's your prerogative. I can teach you. There's nothing that you're doing here that's so unorthodox that I can't teach you. I would never tell you not to. I mean, I would, but that would not be the first thing I'd say to you. I'd be like, oh, you know, let's talk about the instrument. You know, before we can play the thing, let's just sit down and talk about it for a little while. Before we, you know, then we'll learn the names of the strings. We'll start out real slow and good. But let's talk about the instrument. You know, you don't have to pay me for this one. Let's just get to know each other. You like this thing? How's it make you feel? You know? Does it make you feel special? You're not good in school? You know, nobody likes you? Your guitar likes you? Yeah. The guitar was my best friend. It still is. And then I seen the other, and there's another good dude who popped up. I didn't get his name. But he's talking like, let me tell you about the time I gave up guitar for a couple years. And I'm like, bingo! He's a good guy. He rides with me. I shouldn't complain about it because there is a couple good YouTube guys out there. But it's like, yeah, talk about that. I mean, me personally, I can relate to that. Because I've done that. You just get sick of it. You're like, I can't, it's like a divorce or something. I can't fucking be married to you anymore right now. Want to go play piano and annoy my friends, and that's what I did while I'm learning to play piano in the living room. I mean, you gotta understand when you talk music to people, you gotta be careful because they're special people, and understand what you're doing. You're crafting delicate fucking minds for. I mean, it's just frivolous to you. It's just music. It's just guitar or whatever. To some people, it's their whole world. You know, my whole existence was given to me by guitar. And it's funny how I never spend any time really talking about it anymore. But I have 2 guitar videos up now, and some motherfuckers like going, "Oh, you're so vain." It's like, no, not really, not more than the next guy. But I do like to see myself back. When you're playing an instrument, you don't ever get to see what you look like. You would use the mirror, which you have a point there. Or you would use the camera. But then when you start looking good and you're just having a natural fun, that's when people start poking fun. They're like, what's that head movement? How do you do that? Why are you so in time? You look like you're a good dancer. It's like, well, I just feel it. Just be you and listen to your own heart. I mean, it sounds gay, but just listen to your heart. But if you're going to be a teacher and shit, don't talk to fucking students like that, really. Are we trying to clear the board here?